I bid you welcome.
I welcome you to my house.
Welcome to my house.
Welcome to my home.
Hello horror hounds, welcome to my horror house. Now, I don't know if you're anything like me, but as a horror fan I seem to spend an awful lot of my time trying to plug egregious gaps in my viewing history. In this house we are huge fans of the Tales from the Crypt TV series, and it only recently occurred to me that I should probably make the effort to try and watch the Tales from the Crypt movies, and so it is that only very, very recently did I order myself this double bill DVD of Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood, and finally plugged that particular gap. Today I want to talk about Demon Knight. I'd done a little tinkering on the internet. General consensus seemed to be that Demon Knight was the good one and Bordello of Blood was the bad one. We'll leave the Bordello for another day. Why did I take so long to watch Demon Knight? And I'll tell you this, on first viewing as well, we started it a bit late and getting sleepy, and 25 minutes in, and it was still sort of like bubbling along, and we decided to go to bed, and I thought maybe this isn't all it's cracked up to be, but we tried again the next night earlier, and really in very short order after where we stopped off the previous night, it really does start ramping up the gears. Strange movie that takes so much time to get going, and then when it does get going, it's an absolute roller coaster. Now that I understand sort of the shape of it, I really appreciate that build up. I must admit, I wasn't in the right headspace when I first put it on. Oh, car chase, oh, someone with magical tattoos, oh, he's trying to steal a car, Billy Zane's following him, he's working with the lawman, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, can something please just happen? But the time it takes to build up the situation, and the people who are staying at the hotel that they all eventually find themselves in, is time well spent, because then when everything just goes balls to the walls insane, there's no fat to it. We know who everyone is, and all of their reactions speak to the characters that we've got to know. Now, these aren't deep three-dimensional character studies we're talking about here. These are still thumbnail sketch characters, but thumbnail sketch characters in the hands of some really impressive actors here. We've got Dick Miller, we've got CCH Pounder just knocking it out of the park like she always does. Thomas Hayden Church, Jada Pinkett, as was then, pre-Smith, and Billy Zane. I know everyone who's seen and loves this movie gushes about Billy Zane. I've always liked Billy Zane. That man has always had charisma coming out of his ears. He's always had screen presence. I'm not really sure why he's not bigger. He doesn't deserve to be an affectionate joke in Zoolander. And Tales from the Crypt Presents Demon Knight proves just that. How light on his feet is he? How adept at playing and having fun, and then being menacing when he needs to. Absolutely goofy when the script calls for it. He absolutely understands what level to pitch his performance at for every scene, and basically from the moment he punches his fist through the sheriff's head towards the end of the film, he just revels and delights in it, and I revelled and delighted in watching him and all of these other characters suddenly realise that they are in an apocalyptic end of world scenario, and it doesn't look good. When they get to the hotel, the set is very stagey, by which I mean it looks like a set. It looks like the set of a play. There's no, you know, when you watch a movie, there's this imaginary fourth wall between you and the audience. A set like this, and it reminds me of Tobe Hooper's Death Trap, which is also known as Eaten Alive. That's got a very stagey set as well, and it feels less like there's an imaginary fourth wall and more like that wall has been removed and I'm sat in a playhouse watching these actors on stage playing it. I don't mind that kind of heightened reality when the story calls for it. Certainly in Toby Hooper's Death Trap and certainly here in Demon Knight, it does call for it. It speaks like almost every aspect of the film does to the heightened, kind of goofy, really Tales from the Crypt inspired EC Comics vibe of, yeah, we all know that this isn't really happening. This is happening a step removed for all of our entertainment, and it works. And the gore effects work, and there are plenty of them, and they're really surprising, and they are really good. And the optical effects with the demons' sort of luminous eyes really work. I was so surprised to find out this film was made in 1995 because the practical effects work and the optical effects work, and the sort of gonzo, and I'm thinking around Bartley Bava's Demons, in essence here, anything goes attitude feels so much more 80s to me. Now, recently we were talking about Night of the Demons, which was a tail end of the 80s film, which puts a lot of people in a single location and then has some of them slowly being taken over and possessed by demons and attacking the remaining humans. And I said that that sort of lacked any sort of narrative structure. It was just a series of events, of skits and sketches interlinked by periods of not much happening. Demon Knight does this right. We do have more or less a single location. It's a little bit more than a single location, and it is fleshed out with some really wacky flashbacks that Ken Russell would have adored, you know, at the crucifixion of Jesus and the like. But more or less, it's based in one location where a series of the people trapped there get taken over by demons and possessed, go all practical effects demonic, and then attack the other people. But it has a place to go. Each scene builds upon the last. It's not just a series of things happening. This is how you do it right. The plot is almost secondary to my recommendation. What I would say is, if you're thinking about watching this movie, give it its first half hour in credit. Don't look at your watch, don't look at your phone. Let it get to the what the fuck just happened bit, and then it'll take you along. This is a party movie. There's no question about it. There's no point getting all scholastic and highfalutin about it. This is a good time, fun party movie, but it delivers on what it promises it's going to. Unlike something I think like Night of the Demons, which promises a lot and delivers in fits and starts, in flashes. Once Demon Knight's roller coaster gets you to the top of that first long, slow climb, and then we're off. Everything you could possibly want from a Tales from the Crypt movie, I think, is delivered. There is the irreverence there. There is the gore. I mean, if you want it, there's nudity there. You've got beloved character actors like CCH Pounder and Dick Miller really elevating the material. You've got Billy Zane having the absolute time of his life, and now one of my all-time favourite screen demons. Thank you. Excellent practical effects, excellent deaths, actually excellent stakes, and a shape to the narrative that is actually really solid and well thought through. There's twists, there's revelations. Do you know what? It's a blast. It's an absolute blast.